Welcome to Mathmaxtra. This is Sarita. In this lesson, today we are going to discuss what are different types of straight lines. In the yesterday class, we have seen what are different types of angles and related angles. All those we have discussed. So in this class, what are different types of straight lines we'll discuss. Okay. So the first one is intersecting lines. Intersecting lines. What are intersecting lines? You take two straight lines which are belongs to the same plane. So you take any two straight lines which are belong to the same plane. Okay. So those 2 points must have a one common point. See, the line itself we are considering it is a set of points evenly arranged. So see, this we are without any gap. If the points are evenly arranged, we call it as a straight lines. These points are arranged in such a way that there is no gap between those. So if you take this as a one straight line, so let us consider it as a L, and this is another straight line, we call it as a M. These two lines have only one common point. So this is the one common point of these two lines. If the lines are in this arrangement, we call them as a intersecting lines. Means we are represent the two intersecting lines in the set form, that is, see, L is one line, intersection M is another line. Now, what is the intersection of these two? Only one point, that is P is the only point in which is common to both the lines. So that we represent in the singleton set, the common one is the point P. So in this way we represent the intersecting lines. The perpendicular lines is also one of the subpart of intersecting lines only. But in the perpendicular lines, they are arranged in the angle of 90 degrees. We call it as a perpendicular line. But both perpendicular lines also intersect only one point. That is why that is the case of intersecting lines only. Okay, got it? See, these are perpendicular lines. These are perpendicular lines, but here see, these two lines also intersecting at only one point, but the angle they are arranged is 90 degrees, even though we call them as a intersecting lines. Okay, and we'll move to the second type of lines, that is parallel lines. The second type is parallel lines. What are parallel lines? You take any two lines. The two lines don't have, if they don't have any common point, we call them as a parallel lines. You see, you take one line and you take another line. Even if you extend it to infinite also, they should not have any common point. Then only we call them as a parallel lines, because we can consider this as a plane. You can extend the plane in all the directions. You can extend the line in both the directions. So even if you extend this line in both the direction and this line in both the direction, they should not have any common point. Then only we call them as a parallel lines. Okay, next we represent the parallel lines in the set form, that is, this is the line L and this is the line M. So intersects M sorry, L intersection M, which is, what are the common points of these two lines? It is a empty set. It doesn't have any common points. Okay, it doesn't have any common points. That is why we represent an empty set. Okay, intersection means the common points of these two lines. Okay, so the intersection of these two lines of parallel lines must be equal to empty set. Okay, so this is what about the parallel lines, and we represent, if two lines are parallel, we represent it with a one symbol, that is two slant lines in between the two lines. So which is nothing but a line L is parallel to line M. Okay, this is how we represent the parallel lines. And the third case is coincident lines. So what is the third case? So the third type is coincident lines. Coincident lines. So in the case of coincident lines, see, this is one line. It has infinite points on this. Yes. And you take another line also. This is line L as well as this is also line M. Means both the lines must have infinite common points. If both the lines have infinite common points, we call them as a coincident lines. Okay, and the intersection of the both the lines is always equal to infinite set. Okay, infinite set of points. This is what about the coincident line. Coplanar lines. Coplanar lines. What are coplanar lines? You take one plane. See, this is the one plane we are considering. This is the one plane we are considering. See, you take lines on this plane. So those lines may be like this and like this, like this. So this is L, M, N, O. So these are different types of lines. But all these lines are lying on the same plane. That is why we call these lines are coplanar lines. Okay. So L, M, N, O are coplanar. Coplanar lines. These are coplanar lines. Means there may be a chance of having in two different planes also. That is why, so the lines which are lying on the same plane are called coplanar lines. And the next one is skew lines. Skew lines. What are skew lines? The lines which are neither parallel nor intersecting, those lines are called skew lines. See, you take one plane. What are the possible ways of straight lines? Okay, one way is they may intersecting lines. Okay, it may have intersecting lines, or it may have parallel lines. So perpendicular lines also one of the intersecting lines only. So is there one is coincident lines. So coincident lines. So is there any other possibility of having lines which are neither parallel nor intersecting in the same plane? No, it is not possible. See, if you draw any lines, so if you extend it, they may somewhere intersect or they may parallel, they may coincident lines. But there is no possibility of arrangement of lines which are neither parallel nor intersecting. This is not possible with the same plane. So in order to have neither parallel nor intersecting lines, there should have a non-coplanar lines. Yes? See, means there may be a chance of having two planes. So consider this as a one plane and this as another plane. So this is the line in this plane and this may be the line in this plane. So in this case, there is a chance of arrangement of neither parallel nor intersecting lines. So those lines we call them as a skew lines. Okay. And the next case is the next type of arrangement is concurrent lines. Concurrent lines. See, if two lines intersects, they meet, means they have only one common point. If three or more lines, two lines, okay, two lines intersect at one common point, that is fine. If three or more lines, see, three lines, four lines, three or more lines intersect at the same point, then we call them as a concurrent lines. So what we call, these are concurrent lines and they have a common point, means intersecting at the same point, that the point is called P. Okay, so this we call as a concurrent point of concurrency. Okay, so these are the different types of straight lines. Thank you.